Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be looking at the threat that Donald Trump has given to India, saying that if the ongoing negotiation with respect to the India-US trade deal does not conclude on or before 1st of August, then conclude in the sense that in their favor, in Trump's or USA's favor in the sense that whatever they want, if it does not conclude with respect to that, then Trump is going to impose tariff of around 20 to 25% on Indian exports. That means the export coming in USA from India. So what is this all about? What is this trade deal? And all these things we will look at in this lecture. So the warning is of 25%. Basically, he mentioned 20 to 25% of tariff would be imposed on Indian imports coming from Indian imports to USA. You can say Indian exports going to USA or Indian imports coming into USA. So how you phrase the sentence is going to decide whether you mention imports or exports. But I hope that's clear. So whatever goods that India is exporting to USA, Trump vows to put 25% of tariffs on it. So what is this trade deal all about, and what is the sticking things in the trade deal? What does India want? What does US want in that trade deal? And what is Trump's policy with respect to other countries? Does he do the same with other countries as well? All this and much more is what we are going to see in today's lecture. Before we move on, an important announcement with respect to the new batches of Legacy IAS Academy that is going to start from 9th and 11th of August, wherein you will be coached, trained, mentored and taught by the expert of UPSC industry. Now, there are certain advantages that you would get once you enroll with Legacy IAS Academy, and that includes but not limited to the comprehensive coverage of the syllabus, most importantly one-on-one mentorship and doubt solving from the faculties themselves. And then you will have, of course, regular interactions with the faculty. Another important thing, that the maximum size of the batch is just 40 students. In addition to that, there will be daily answer writing practice along with, of course, the test series for prelims and mains. One special feature with respect to current affairs is the 360-degree coverage that we have, wherein one complete day is given only for current affairs live classes. Yes, the entire current affairs of the week will be taught in live classes throughout the day, once every week. So if you want to enroll in this, you could simply download our app. The provision is there, or you can call on these numbers or log on to www.legacyIAS.com. So now let's continue with our news. So what is the series of events? See, in the month of April, the US-China trade war also started. US started imposing tariffs. And this tariff imposition of USA is not, by Donald Trump specifically, is not that he has started doing that after his presidentship. In fact, even during his election campaign, he used to mention that I'm going to impose tariffs left, right, center. But still the market of USA was doing well at that time, because the market of USA was thinking that Donald Trump is just threatening, he will not impose, he is threatening these tariffs as a matter of leverage to get the best deal out of various countries. So market still went up, because what happens is, if there are tariffs and trade wars, it's not good for anyone, and the market actually goes down generally during the tariff situations. But even when Donald Trump during election campaign was saying this, and it was very likely that he will be elected, the market was going up. When he got elected, still the market went up. But then what happened is, Donald Trump actually started implementing these policy which he was talking about, and USA-China trade war started, which saw a decline in the stock markets of USA. Now, so what has happened with respect to India? That means USA is doing that with other countries as well, and now it is going to do that with India as well, probably. So on India, it imposed 26% tariff on 2nd of April 2025 already. However, this was later paused. He has paused it. So sort of similar tariff is now what he is threatening presently. So he imposed that tariff on 2nd April, but then paused it. And in the month of July, what has happened is India-USA trade deal negotiations have started, have progressed, is going on. It's not that in July we first started, it was there previously also, but then it comes into a halt. Now it has again started. That means it is in progress. Now what is this deal about? It is basically a negotiation with respect to what custom duties would be imposed by each of the country on the other with respect to different goods and services. Now on July 30th, that means today, in India is July 30th, in USA at that time would be 29th of July only, but with respect to Indian time, on 30th July, Trump has warned about 25% of tariff imposition if the trade deal does not go through. And when we say go through, it is, of course, it will only go through when both the sides agree and USA's agreement is included in that. So if it does not go through, he talks about imposing 25% of tariff, and he has also given a deadline of 1st of August. So the deadline set by him is on or before 1st of August. That means by day after tomorrow. Now, why could that be the reason for him to impose tariffs? Let us understand that. So this is the India-USA trade. When you talk about India-USA trade, India has a surplus over USA. Yes, absolutely. So this, let's first look at the graph. So in 2010, if you see the imports coming from USA with respect to, now consider with respect to India, in India, the imports coming from USA is quite low. It is, I think, around 20, just around $20 billion. Now, if you look at the exports that are going to USA are higher, over $25 billion. So there is a surplus. There have been ups and downs, but this has consistently grown. That means the trade has grown, and this has also consistently grown. If you look at by just before 24, you have exports of $77 billion, imports of $42 billion. If you look at the present statistics with respect to 24, then our exports are $87 billion. That means it has further gone up to $87 billion. And the imports have further declined to $41.8 billion. So what is the difference? The difference comes out to be around 45.7, that is close to $46 billion of surplus is what India has. So that is one thing which is of concern. So why is USA pressing, as we saw from the map and the data, to reduce the trade deficit? India has a surplus, USA has a deficit, so imposing more custom duty and asking India to reduce it will help USA reverse this trend and reduce the trade deficit. Also, USA wants greater market access in India. Now, that is a concern for us because it specifically wants it in agri and dairy sector. Now, we know if we provide this, the agriculture and dairy sector of India, which is quite poor in the sense that the people who are working in that, the poor farmers, right, the marginal small farmers, will again take a hit if we provide this access to USA, because then USA products will keep on coming into India, which will hamper Indian producers, right? Plus, he has also said, Trump also believes that India's market is protectionist, so he wants access to India's market. Now, what is Trump's policy elsewhere? Elsewhere also, he is doing the same. He did the same with China, European Union, Canada, as well as Mexico. With China, he in fact even went into a trade war, but China's economy is also humongous, and China also did not back down. So presently we are in a 90-day pause with respect to the trade war. Let's see after 90 days, does this war resume again or not? Now, what are the sticking points? The points of concerns with respect to India's concerns and USA's demands. So India's concern is data localization norms. We want, if there is a foreign company in India, digital company in India, of a foreign country, in this case USA, they should store data within India, not outside. So that is our data localization norms. But USA demands relaxation of these norms for US companies. Next is our protected agriculture and dairy sector. USA wants access for agricultural exports in India. The price control in pharma, we want that we will allow the goods of USA in pharma industry, but we will have some ceiling prices is what we want. But Trump wants market based pricing. Right. Then last thing, tariffs on tech goods. However, USA wants to lower the duties on electronic goods coming to India from USA. So this is the sticking point where they are in conflict with each other. Now, what is the strategic importance of US market? See, US market is of course very important for India. We are having a trade surplus. India's largest export destination is USA. If you look at this table, the trade India to USA, right? So it's showing India's trade to USA, which is around $81.56 billion. Now, the tariff burden on India is quite less. Whereas just with this much of trade quantum, the tariff burden on USA is quite high. So if you look presently, the tariff burden on India is less and on USA is high. That is what USA wants to change. But see, this has to be there to an extent that we are a developing nation and USA is already a developed country. That is how it could be justified also with respect to the poverty in India, the inequality in India, the low purchasing power of the people, the low income of the people, poor farmers in India, farmer suicide in India, and then you have small and marginal farmers whose income is not that good enough. If you allow agriculture sectors, dairy sector products without much of custom duties, it is going to hamper that sector. All these are the reasons that we are staying put at our ground, but it will be interesting as to whether this deal gets signed or not, and if it does, what are the terms and conditions of it. So if it gets signed, we will again meet and discuss what are the terms and conditions, what does India get out of it, and what does USA get out of it. Thank you.